My name is Sophie Gedehun, and I'm your host for this episode of the College and Career Readiness Podcast. Today, we're joined by our special guest, Asani Shakur, who is the jack of all trades, most notably a writer, poet, speaker, and the deputy director of Hunters Point Family. Before we start our interview, remember to take control of your future, join the California National Army Guard, and serve your community during local and state emergencies. You'll learn marketable skills, earn a paycheck, and get money for school. Contact Sergeant A. Aquino today at 916-233-7615. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So, hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing great. So, can you give the list background on you, where you grew up?
Sure. I grew up in the Bay Area in a city called Richmond, California. It's a small city, about a population of 100,000. It's a city most known and stigmatized for violence and poverty.
All right, so how did growing up in a neighborhood like that affect you?
It affected me tremendously because, in fact, I was actually indicted on old charges that I wasn't even involved with anymore. So it wasn't like they arrested me on something I was doing currently. I was inactive in the streets at that time because I wanted to be there for my son. I wanted to change the stigma and the in a generational curse of lack of fathers that's been embedded in my own family. So that is what was different with me with going to prison, is knowing that I have a week-old son that I have to fend for. And right now, I mean, not right now, but at that moment, I was disabling as it relates to fending for my son, and that gave me more of a purpose in life to want to change.
So, upon your release, I know we talked about that you had a plan. So, can you go in depth on that plan and how you executed it?
Sure. So during my incarceration, I, instead of like asking for money to be placed on my books when I was incarcerated, I would call home and ask for books and information on certain things. And one of those things was college. I wanted to learn more of how the college process worked. I knew that by the time I get released, I was going to be, 25 or something like that when I got released from prison. And I wanted to see, like, okay, am I able to go straight into a 4-year institution or what? So that's when I learned that, community college. I learned more about how the community college process work and how do I apply, how long does it take to be able to transfer from community college, what's considered transferable units versus non-transferable units, what is the requirements to be able to transfer from a 2-year institution to a 4-year institution, all of the above. And I would study that immensely. I would study, the different majors that was available. And I started studying, or giving more thought to what type of career I wanted. And I wrote a timeline. And in that timeline, I wrote down, each year that I wanted to have certain goals accomplished. So I knew that, okay, it'd take me 2 years to graduate from community college. So I knew I was going to get released in 2012. So 2014, I had a big star by it, meaning that I should be graduating from a community college with my AA degree, and I should be graduating from a 4-year institution in 2016. So I wrote all of that out, and I had a step-by-step plan for each goal on how to go about it. And so I just followed their, actually they offered me a position to run a program, a traditional program there called STOMP, which stands for Student Transfer Opportunity Mentorship Program. And so I was the head of that program. I ran it successfully. And that program reaches out to transfer students. And it's the largest program that reaches out to transfer students in the whole state of California. So, and I had no prior experience. It was just, they was very impressed with my trajectory since my release from prison, of all the stuff that I had accomplished within those 2 years. And they felt that I would be a good candidate. They felt that I was a very non-traditional student. And that's one of the things that they look for with reaching out to transfer students. Because statistically, the average community college student spends between 5 to 6 years at the community college level. And I think more than, don't quote me so much on statistics, but I think 80% don't even transfer to a 4-year institution.
All right, so sorry to put you on the spot, but we all know you're a poet. So can you go ahead and spit something for us today?
Sure. So I spit a message. It's not so much a poem as it relates to rhythm and what poems are used to, but I'll just spit a message that I wrote a while back, just to inspire somebody. So, rising morning, my somebodies of the world. Happy motivated Monday. Today thought is determination. It is said that seeing is believing. As my nephew and I was wrapping up our daily workout in the gym, we both witnessed this lady working out. Now, her present being there for working out is not what caught our attention, but the fact that this woman was blind is what gave notice. I watched her navigate herself around to each workout machine using her cane for guidance. I thought how determined she must be to not make any excuses for her well being. When we are determined in life, nothing can impede what you set out to accomplish. We hear all these statistics about how we have a 1 in some odd chance of becoming this or that. Well, how about the thought of knowing you was 1 out of 9 million sperm count that you made it through? What can stop you? If you don't stop for nothing, be determined. Peace and blessings. Asani Shakur.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you.